All right, so I have a question here that is asking me for the domain and the domain of this function, and I click here, and it's funny because I sit here and I argued and I'm like, I know this is the domain or the good x values, so I know it goes to the left and the right forever. The range or the good y values, so it goes down forever, but it only goes up to 4. And then I go back and I reread the question and it says select function 4. So that's why I kept getting this wrong the first time I tried to do it. So this function here, the domain, once again are good x values. And so this is going to the left, if this kept going, forever. So that would be minus infinity. Then it goes to the right. So notice I'm looking at the x values. It goes to the right and it hits 2. And it can equal 2 because that's a solid circle. And then it stops. But then it starts again at 3, but that's an open circle. Okay, so it cannot equal 3. So the open circle's parentheses, and then it goes to 6. So let's see if I can remember all that, and I'll bring the graph back again. So I think this was minus infinity, and then it stopped at 2, but it could equal 2. When it jumps to the other side, we call that a union. Then it cannot equal 3, and it stopped at 6, and it can equal 6. So it's going to the left forever and ever and ever, and then it goes to 2 at x equals 2, and then it can equal 2. That's why it's a square bracket. Then it's an open circle, so it jumps to 3 but can't equal 3, parentheses, and then it goes all the way to 6 and it can equal that. All right, so now it wants to know, excellent, it wants to know the range, where the range is the y values, so these vertical values. So I can see that certainly it looks like it's going to go up forever, okay? And then it comes down, and it looks like it comes down to 0, and then it skips, and it goes -1, but cannot equal -1, down to -4. So let's see what that would look like. So it can equal -4 because that was a solid circle. It went up to -1, but cannot equal it, union. Then it actually equals 0 and looks like it goes up to infinity. And remember, infinity is always a parentheses. So once again, it starts at -4, it equals it, so that's the square bracket. It goes, so I'm going up, and I have to stop here at -1, a parentheses. Then union, it jumps, and then it starts back at 0, and it equals 0 because this is a solid graph. And then it just goes up forever. So these are a little confusing when you first start to look at them, but remember, the domain are the good x values and the range are the good y values.